Alright, so let's double back on this problem to answer part B, because we just did part A, which asked us, is this relation a function? I'm going to note something here real fast, and that was that when we graphed those points and I connected them together, what I did was I created a continuous function. Continuous functions have interesting domains and ranges, and it depends on like the actual math that describes that function. But we're just given a set of a bunch of points here, so it's a discontinuous function, and basically all we know about it is that we have these points that describe it. Okay, we have the 5, 4, the -2, 4, the 4, 3, the 1, and the 0. So part B asks you simply to state whether, to state the domain and to state the range. Now, when you think of domain and you think of range, this is super easy. Okay, first of all, this is how I remember it. D, domain, range, R, range, okay? Which one of these comes first in the alphabet? D, okay? Well, given X and Y, which one of these comes first in the alphabet? X comes first, then Y. So, if you're ever confused and you mix them up, you're like, which one of these correspond to? Well, it's easy. You just have to think about domain comes first, X comes first. Domain refers to all of the possible values that X is allowed to be. Now, we'll see in later problems why exactly we have restrictions on the domain. Sometimes it's due, and actually quite often you'll see that it's due to we are not allowed to create an undefined equation. If you're going to end up with like division by 0, which is undefined, you have a restriction on your domain, meaning your X value is not allowed to be that. We'll see that later. But domain basically says, what are my X values allowed to be? And the range says, what are my Y values allowed to be? Okay? Now, if we want to know what the domain of this problem is, we simply have to take a look at the X values that were given these points. This is easy. We'll simply group them together. And this notation here is going to look something like you could list them. Here's how I would do it personally, okay? I would say domain, all X values or all allowed X values, going to be 5. And, you know, actually, I would like to organize these from least to greatest because why not? So we'll start with -2. That's a value we're given. 1, that's the next value we're given. 4, and finally 5. That is the domain of my function. Okay? Next, the range is going to be simply the Y values. So we had 4. Actually, let's start with the smallest one. We had 0. We had 3. And we had 4. So those were all of the Y values that we could take on. And you could go all possible or allowed Y values. And that would be that there. So, easy. Easy as pie.